So, what's your opinion of romanticizing sexual assault in books?
Isn't it more misogynistic to like say, "Oh yeah, rape. That's so fun and cool." I love me some rape. I'm such a feminist. That
Yeah,
that that,
it, it
something doesn't
doesn't
seem
make
quite right.
it doesn't make sense because first of all, the only reason why they're saying this is because the people who are reading these books, like consuming this content, are mostly women and the books are written by female authors. Someone made the argument that we wouldn't be questioning it if the fiction was in question was written by a man, which is completely wrong because people do video essays on books written by men like, that are obviously written by men a lot. Like, what happened to us being against that kind of thing? Why is it suddenly different now? I don't get it. Someone
I
made
think
the argument that it's a coping mechanism to read these books because you can close it at any time to escape the sexual assault going on. But that doesn't make sense either because then what is the reason to romanticize it? Like,
I think
clearly these books are sexualizing what's going on.
yeah, that's the reason they defend it because it's porn. That's what it is. It's just porn.
It
Like
is. And there's also a problem with like porn that does the same thing. This isn't just a book talk problem. I've
yeah,
seen people criticize porn a lot as well. Like, as you said, these books are more misogynistic because a lot of the time the writers victim blame the character and defend the abuser's actions, which actively feeds into rape culture. It's the same problem as people who make rape jokes because they're normalizing it. That's what they're doing. That's why it's wrong. Rape being normalized, okay, and victims of rape being shamed and accused of lying is very, very common, and it's still common in today's world. So, writing books like this is definitely not helping the situation,
yeah.
which is also why it's not comparable to murder being written in books. Like, because people complain about murder being really normalized in fiction, but then it being called out when someone, like, writes rape in fiction. First of all, there isn't anything wrong with actually writing rape in fiction, just as long as the rape scene is, in good taste. But
Yeah.
second
Yeah,
of all, murder, there is usually a reason for the murder in fiction, whereas it's a lot more common for people to write rape for literally no reason. And if there was a book glorifying murder, I'm pretty sure people would be upset about that too.
uh, pretty much any always like sensationalist serial killer documentaries. Let's just have a think about those. It's like the same kind of thing with the Booktok stuff, right?
Yeah,
Glorifying these murderers, right?
yeah.
So,
And people call that out as well.
so yeah, it's
People
the same thing.
have
So
this whole mentality that if it's fiction, it doesn't do any harm. But that's not true. First of all, the people writing these books clearly have a victim blaming mentality, which is why a lot of the time they say things in the books like her mouth is saying no, but her body is saying yes, which by the way, like a
bro,
go
okay,
to consent. That is again another like
yeah.
fucking misogynistic talking point that rapists like to use to justify their actions, which is very
That's,
harmful.
I just want to say that sentence immediately makes you want to go take a shower. Just
Real. Like, people seem to think that the problem people have with this is that women are just reading too much smut, which I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people making that argument who are being misogynistic, but that's not the problem. The problem isn't that women are reading smut. The problem is that these books are normalizing rape. Like, how is
yeah,
that difficult to understand?
fellas. I think normalizing rape is a bad thing.
I
Who's over the
agree.
honest, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know why that's a controversial thing to say.
I don't. It's just the internet.
Yeah,
It's just it
people
lets
are.
all the insane people communicate and spread their dumb shit.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you shouldn't judge someone for the literature they consume. I think I can judge someone if they're clearly supporting a writer who doesn't care about sexual assault survivors
Yeah, like
at all.
I'm gonna judge somebody if they're reading fucking Mein Kampf. Like, dude. So yes, I can judge you for the literature you read.
You know what's even worse? A lot of people speaking out about this are sexual assault survivors, which makes it like that's just even more insensitive. It's a cycle of abuse that we keep repeating, and people are trying to justify normalizing it under the guise of if you criticize this, you're misogynistic. But that is, again, feeding into misogyny and feeding into rape culture and just making the situation worse. So if anyone's misogynistic here, it's the people who are reading these books. The only time where I can understand them calling it misogynistic is when people make videos like, why are women reading so much smut nowadays? Smut is just porn but on books. Women stop reading porn. Like, bro,
Yeah, women do
that's
something
not the
sexual.
problem. How
Like,
dare women have
you
sex?
know these guys have like 20 incognito tabs open whilst they're making these videos. The double standards go crazy.
But like that's about where it ends for my understanding of the misogyny accusation. Otherwise, it's just fucking stupid.